welcome to the video. John Bodine here with Redemptive Psych. And in this video, we're going over the typing vector of direct or informative, continuing our Introduction to Typing series. Now, direct and informative is a very important and it can be very intuitive and easy. It can also be very difficult. I find it to be one of the more difficult ones on average. However, it's of the ones to get good at, this one is up there with the other top one or two. So direct or informative, the direct types are these 8, the in-charge types in purple, the chart the course types or the finisher types in orange. Then the informative types are the starter types or the get things going, and then the background or behind the scene types in green. Now I'll jump to the traits first and then we'll talk about these types. So the direct quality, to be a direct type, to be direct in your communication, as direct is part of the interaction styles, it has 2 components. To be direct means that you don't mince words. You are blunt and to the point with your words, and you are directive, meaning you communicate in a way that directs yourself or other people to action, to do things. So Linda Barron's in her book about the interaction styles, this one right here, the orange one, she gives a example, a spectrum of communication over one single example of the most direct and the most informative and the ways in between. And the example in question is about milk, like when you go to the fridge and there's not milk in there. A direct type, like the most extreme version of the direct, will say, go get milk. And the most extreme version of the informative type is, we're out of milk. So at the extremes, the informative types do not direct action, they give information. Whereas at the extreme, the direct types demand action, they create action, they obligate action either from self or others. Now, as we get towards the middle of that spectrum, which she has here in this orange book, you can see the variations of direct and informing. And as they meet towards the middle, the direct types are a little perhaps gentler and kinder about how they express it, where they include some information of, we're out of milk, would you go get some, please? Whereas an informative type will say something like, we're out of milk, could you go get some, or should I go get something? Something like that. That an informative type still creates invitation, and a directive type still gives direction. So the direct types, these 8 types, are a little more blunt, a little more directive, as they are direct in their communication, and they are often to be perceived, when in a negative light, as withholding and or bossy. Now, I'd say the introverted direct types are a little more likely to be seen as withholding, and the extroverted direct types are to be seen more as bossy by other people. Now, with the informative types, it is opposite and is complementary to being direct. So they are indirect. When there's something to say, they will give information around the bush. They won't necessarily acknowledge or steer into the bush. They will beat around the bush, right? So they're indirect. It's info plus invite. So they lead more with giving information, with giving context, with giving more than is absolutely necessary for action. They like to fill in the picture. And they also invite. They don't the way they communicate is not forcing people to do things. It's letting them interact in the discussion or in the interaction in the way that someone else wants to. So they'll create space for someone to engage in that interaction in the way that they're comfortable. So it's indirect, it's providing information, and it's being invitational just as a way of how they naturally communicate. Now, the way some of the negative perceptions of the informative types are passive-aggressive. They often struggle to get to the point. Many direct types will sometimes look at an informative type and just say what you mean. Stop saying everything else except what you mean. And even though it looks like they're hiding something and not saying something that they really mean to say, that's oftentimes not how their brain works. They work in a way that provides information, and it's not necessarily that they're holding something secret and trying not to make you aware of it. But they can be seen as being passive-aggressive and are much more likely to be seen as passive-aggressive than the direct types. And last, they can be perceived as being manipulative. This goes hand in hand with the passive-aggressiveness. It can look like they're holding something right behind the sheet, that they're holding something right behind what's visible. So going into practicing and watching out for, starting with watching out, you have to be careful of informative TI types, particularly the ENTP and INTP. I would say especially the INTP, someone like Jordan Peterson, for example. TI heroes, the TI hero of the INTP, even though they are informative, the words themselves sound direct because it's TI statements, it's logic, is if this, then that, if this, then that. But if you watch an INTP interact for long enough, they provide information. They talk more than they need to. Both NTPs do this a lot. They talk more than they need to, even though they have a lot of thoughts about something. They're not directing other people as much. They're not making them do something. They're sharing their thoughts, right? They're giving information, they're giving context. Likewise, the direct types who are extroverted thinking dominant, this is all of the NTJs, really all of the TJs, particularly the ETJs with TE hero. They do look pretty direct most of the time. However, extroverted thinking as a function is also a function that gives information. The difference here with the TJs, particularly with the ETJs, it's giving information for the sake of directing them. Okay, go do this, here's what you need to know. That's kind of how it works in the most direct sense. But you have to be careful when you're dealing with direct types who are high in extroverted thinking. That is the ENTJ, INTJ, ESTJ, and ISTJ. Be careful with TE as it can give information, but it's still directive with that information. Next, gender and / culture. Now, I asked this with another typing video. In our culture with gender, do you think that men and women are brought up to communicate more or less directly or more informatively? I think most of us would agree that men are encultured more to be direct, more to be directive, and women are cultured to be more informative, to be less, bossy. This is where ENTJ CEO women can struggle with being judged as being too masculine or too bossy, even though they are direct, because of, at least in part, of our cultural values and the way that those values impart onto gender. So gender, of all of the traits, all of them, gender plays the biggest role, I believe, in this trait dichotomy here, direct or informative. It is the biggest pitfall because you have to take into account, such as a female direct type who looks way more informative because of that enculturation, because of that gender. So yeah, you really have to be careful with this. And then last, what to watch out for, what especially to watch out for, the 4 background introverted types, okay? So on paper, these would be the most indirect of the types, the green introverts, because they're background. However, while they are informative, they are also introverted. Being part of the background temperament, the green types don't like to be in the spotlight very much. That can also mean they might say less. They might be a little shorter with their speech, which can look like direct, right? Because direct types don't say as much usually. So you have to be careful with the 4 background types here who often don't speak as much, particularly in a natural setting. But once you get these background types comfortable in a natural setting, they'll start to open up and speak and share more. But you got to be careful about the 4 green introverts. Okay, and lastly, how to practice this. For me, I find a lot of value in assigning particular functions to these traits. So you might say on paper, what 1 or 2 or 3 functions are the most directive functions? What 1 or 2 or 3 functions are the most informative functions? I believe that introverted feeling and extroverted intuition tend towards being informative, and at the extremes are very informative, whereas extroverted sensing and introverted thinking tend to be more directive, because extroverted sensing is what other people are doing. You're doing that wrong, do it this way. Think of the functions also as like which functions are more exploratory and which functions are more action oriented. We can start to identify the extremes, and this is how I encourage you to practice. This is how I practice with all these traits. Identify the extremes of the behavior, which gives us that the NFP types, the ENFP and the INFP, can tend towards being hyper informative, hyper non-directive, hyper giving information, not necessarily obligating other people. There are some other things to be, to look out for there, but in general, I would say that the NFP types are the most informative. Likewise, the STP types are the most direct. Now, I think that's a close first to like the NTJs, or the ETJs being also quite direct as well. But identifying the extremes and understanding how the different functions might exhibit the direct or informative behavior can help you get going with your practice. Okay, and then preference. This goes for all of these vectors. Someone's preference. Okay, we learn how to communicate differently. I feel, even though I'm a direct type, that I often communicate in a slightly more informative way than most expressions of my type. I feel like I've learned to have to be, or just am, more informative naturally. However, when you get someone comfortable, when they are, confident, when they're operating in their natural state, this will come out more. This is an inborn trait that's built off of our type. So try and identify them in their preferred environment and see how they interact. And then lastly, this is more of an exploratory one to do with Dario-Nardi's or Socionics subtypes. I would say there's 4 subtypes: dominating, creative, normalizing, and harmonizing. Okay. Direct or informative. This is subtypes. If you're not familiar with the subtypes, that's fine. If you want to learn more, look up Dario-Nardi's book about it. But I want to point out 2 vectors here, or 2 subtypes, the dominating and the harmonizing. Any type can develop nurturally into one of the subtypes. So a dominating subtype, in my opinion, is much more likely to move to this side of the border, to the direct side, because they're a little more in charge, a little more directive in their nurture. Likewise, harmonizing subtypes are going to tend more towards the informative. This is my opinion, but applying the subtypes to the vectors is very helpful because it clears up a lot of the confusion, a lot of the nuance. So if that's interesting to you, that next layer of it, exploring the subtypes, those are new to me. I've just been exploring them the last month or so. I think they're very valuable, particularly with these typing/communication vectors. All right, guys, that is direct and informing as a vector, as a way to type, as a way to sharpen your skill. Again, I believe this one can be pretty difficult to learn. I think the skill ceiling is high for this one, but it's really, really important. Probably a top 2 most important vector. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for stopping by. Leave your comments down below if you have insights or experience with this vector or others, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.